Hey YouTube, Juicebox team here, and today we're at regionals right now, and we met a guy using Infernitys, and they were actually really good. To start off, his name is
Riley. Birdie.
And why do you run Infernitys?
Because I think that they're a really underestimated deck, especially since no one expects them. And then when Hidden Arsenal 7 it's released on April 19th, they're going to be a really big deck with Volvo Chain. It's going to be really big.
Why did you start using Infernitys?
I read Infernity Archfiend, and I just thought that, coupled with Launcher and Barrier, it was just too good.
Alright, so what do you use in it?
Excuse me?
So what do you run?
Like for my deck list?
Yeah.
So I run 3 Archfiends. Very, very staple. Never seen a deck that's felt 3. Very special. You have no cards in your hand. You search your deck for any card, monster or spell or trap, doesn't matter. So run 3 of him. If you top deck him, you can special him without wasting your normal. 1, 2, and 3 Necro. He's pretty much a monster born once per turn. So he's even great top deck late game because you can just grab your Archfiend from grave and still get searches. So, and he's like the other heart and soul of the deck other than Archfiend. But yeah, he's really good. Some people run 2. I'd see a lot more people running 3s, and I recommend 3 because he gets levy plays if you get bottom list. Only 1 Infernity Avenger because it's like he's really recyclable, and he's the only tuner I use with like a 9 synchro count in my extra deck or something. And it seems like it wouldn't, you should run more than him, but you really only need 1 of him. He's also a really underrated card because if I have like an Archfiend, no cards, he gets killed by battle, he'll come back as a 4-star. And his effect does stack. So if I have an Archfiend and 2 of them, and my Archfiend died by battle, I'll get 2 of them, 2 4-stars, and I can exceed. Really underrated card, but you really only need him at 1, but some people run that 2.
Have you ever tried running 2 before?
Yeah, I ran 2 in my old build, and I just tried it with 1, and it would just work so much better. Because the consistency in this deck is really hard to actually be consistent with, and just getting rid of all the dead draws, or the most dead draws you can get rid of in this deck, it just benefits really well. 1 Infernity Mirage, I see people running this at 2 and 3, and you really only need 1 to do the loop, the 100-ize loop. Now a lot of people will still be running 2 and shit, but it's like if you open him first hand, he is like 95% of the time dead, and you'll probably just end up pitching him with Griffin. But, he's still searchable with Archfiend, he's still searchable with 1 for 1. It's not like you're really reducing the chance of getting him that much. And he's just, again, with the dead draws. Just 1 is all that's needed, because you can still recycle him with Levy and go for another 100-ize. I run 1, used to run 2, and just really good at 1. Here's a tech choice of a deck. Summoner Monk. I was running pretty much Volvo Chain build in this regionals, and I still top 32, so that's pretty good. I won locals with this build as well, so I thought he's really good. So, because he's an inherently negative card, which I understand, because with Valor running rampant, he is a bad card to use. But with how good macro rabbits are right now, a lot of people are maining less and less Valors. So it makes this card a much less risky card, especially with Soul Morning down to 1. So it's like, you can use his effect with any spell, and then grab an Archfiend from your deck, and your Archfiend will still get its effect. So it's really good,
Was there ever a time where he was dead in your hand?
Oh, multiple times. Like, again, when the Volvo Chain comes legal, it's going to make him so much better. But even if he is dead, you can still dish him with Greffer, you can still set him and get him killed by battle, and get an Avenger off of him, you can still sync with him and Avenger. Overall, really solid card. You could take him out of the deck until April 19th, but April 19th comes, I highly recommend running him. Only 1 Greffer, because you want to keep that low monster count not open to cloggy hands, especially with the Monk build. He actually does declog hands, but 1's all you really need, because even with Monk, you can grab him from your deck. You can grab Armageddon from your deck, you can grab Archfiend, you can grab Sighting Street Patrol, really any of the ones that you need. So,
have you tried playing around with the number before?
Excuse me?
Have you ever tried playing out with 2 or 3?
I've never tried. Well, actually, yeah, I've tried 2 Greffer, and I see him too much. He's really good, don't get me wrong, but I find the 1-1 ratio of these 3 works the best, because now with running Stagger in the deck, you don't always want to get rid of cards out of your hand, so if you like open these two, you can like normal him, send him from the grave and just remove the special and get his effect. Whereas if it was just another grepher, you had to pitch him to get the pitch. And you don't always want to do that. And I think it works with the monk build really well because they're searchable from the deck, and you only really need one of each. And for spell lineup, I'm of course running the one staple launcher. Not too much to say. Searchable, double monster born, probably best card in deck. You know,
the only problem would be super poly.
And if I believe it or not, I have had to pitch this the summoner monk because I was in that type of a situation. I did end up winning, but I did not enjoy pitching this card at all. But yeah, double monster born, pitch one on your hand, best card in deck. One Rhoda. The Rhoda only has the 2 targets of Grepher and Armageddon, and a lot of people don't run Rhoda either, but a lot of people do. And the reason that I think it's really good is because this deck, as I said, has horrible consistency. But if you open like mediocre or better, you can really like win early game or grind. And plus, if you draw into both these and these are dead, the roll will become monk food for you to later use anyway. So it's not really that bad at all. Then I got 1 for 1, and when people run 1 for 1, they usually run at least doubles of each of these or doubles of 1 or 2 of them. And again, same reason that this card can become really dead after you draw into these or search them out. But this is where Monk comes in again. It can become Monk food again if you don't need it there or now. You know, Monk really, you know, cuts corners and makes the deck better, in my opinion anyway. Then you got 1 foolish, you know, foolish, just like instant setup, great. 1 mind control. I wasn't running this before, but then I kind of came to the epiphany that I run such a low monster count, and I want to be using your monsters for my shenanigans, like overlaying or synchroing or whatever. Plus, again, if I'm running, like if they have any HD that I can't synchro or do anything with, it is monk food yet again. So just an overall really good card in this deck. 1 monster born, especially in Infernities. 1 book, because book's a really good card. I like it more than lands, and you can do shenanigans with book with these 3. Like it's food for monk, and then Armageddon is one you summon. So if you like summon them and get a pitch, and set book, and they don't attack them, or you set like a bottomless or something like that to protect them, you can book them, and then flip them and get another pitch, and save Necro. If you had normal summon Necro in that turn, you can use Necro's effect on like Archfiend and get the Surge, and then say you have like these 2 in your deck, you can like book them and then flip them again in a different turn and get like more Borns. Overall, just like a really good card, you know. It forces the negation on Logia and Dalka. I mean, just Logia, but it stops Dalka. And this deck has a really hard time with Macro Rabbits. And surprisingly enough, I actually beat Macro Rabbits. So I'm pretty proud with that. The Dark Hole, very decent in this deck. Again, just monk food, and it's there to just clear shit. Only 1 duality. You probably shouldn't run doubles in Infernity for how much you special summon. But it is, like, again, a consistency issue that you do want to have this at least like, you don't want to be using this at least level 1.
Has duality ever stopped any of your plays? Like,
yeah. But it has also made, like, so much setup with Monk. If I don't want to use it, I just pitch it, and I draw into my combo pieces, like, I'll draw into a launcher, and then they know what's going to come next turn. If they don't stop it, it's just, again, like, just a really good one-off. That is optional, but I like it. And 3 MST, because you want to get your combos off. You really do. Back row hurts the stack, even if you have 3 barrier. The need setup. Just gets rid of macro, gets rid of skill drain, gets rid of roar decree, gets rid of like shadow mirror, everything that hurts the stack.
Has that ever become a dead draw most of the time before?
Actually, not with MSTs at all. But with my sided dust tornadoes, I have had the bad draw into them when I need something else. But not for MST. I highly recommend it. I see people running 1 and 2 Infernity. I just don't get it. I really don't.
It's down the hill, across the bridge. She wants to go to Eastridge.
1, 2, 3 barrier, Some people run 2 of these. I wouldn't recommend running 2 unless it's like a beetle build or something. It's like a solemn judgment with monster effect negation with no cost. So I don't understand. It's searchable. It's great. Like first hand, if you set it, you get an archfiend. People never expect it. Just great at 3. And yes, I have top decked this, and it has lost me games, but it does to do with a ratio of me topping this and making me lose the game to me winning the game because of these things. Just it would blow it out of the water. 1 break, searchable. A lot of people run 2s and 3s of these. In my opinion, barrier is better in 80% of the situations, but the 1 break, it's there for the situations that barrier just can't deal with. It's there to just, get rid of those problem monsters like Ryle that they aren't going to be using their effects on.
Has the remove from play ever messed you up?
Not usually, because you don't have to remove monsters. You can remove barrier, you can remove launcher, and you can also do combos if you remove an archfiend and then you go into a levy play, it does help. It would be easier to do that levy play if you ran tour guide, but I don't like tour guide on this deck. It's very, very mediocre. But I'll be put in very, very tough positions to use this card and have to remove an Avenger, but it's still really good. 2 calls, just get the specials off Archfiend and Necro. Just keeps it going. 2's fine. I would only ever run 1 if you make an anti-rabbit deck. I side 1 out when I go against rabbit. That's good. Breakthrough, the effect failure for this deck. Again, it stops. It stops Dalka. It stops Logia if they want to use their negation on it. It stops Rabbit. It works like effect failure where they can pay cost but they don't get its effect. So it's really good. Fire Fist beat me down today, and I couldn't draw into its card to stop the bear. It's unfortunate, but it's still really good. The other option to this is Chalice, but I think the double negation and being able to use without boosting my opponent 400 attack is just really as good. 2 compulsory, because if I'm going to do loot, my field will get cloggy. Plus, I can compulsory Exceed since it's Exceed format. I can compulsory Archfiend if I have a Stygia in my grave. Just an overall really good card, chainable, really good. 2 bottomless, again, Rabbit Hate, just staple, really good. Not much more to say about it. 1 Mirror Force, I was testing this not too much before regionals. It helped, but it also didn't help at the same time. It was never really bad. It was very mediocre. And it was pretty good to sit behind a road, this, and a barrier, because you have your opponent in such a situation where those are minds themselves so much to try and get out. So it's really good. 1 Starlight Road, because if you're going to go on set, you want that protection. It's a free Stardust in this deck, really easy to get. Really good. 1 Judgment, because the people with standby phase compulsory your barriers can't do anything since you're already past draw phase out of card in your hand. You want that extra negation so that they can't just clear you really easily. Do you want extra deck and stuff as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So I ran 1 Armor Arm, because Armor Arm's really good with Stacking Insurgents. He's like a mini BLS. If he destroys a monster, he gains 800 and can attack again. And you equip Armor Arm to him, so he goes up to 32. And he attacks a monster plus burn damage, but he attacks directly for 42. So it's really well. Armor Arm also helps with sometimes I'll need a Force Arm when I don't have an Archfiend with a Necro and Avenger play, and I'll go and investigate a Void Ogre or something. So really good. Stygian's really good as well. 1 Catastor. No, it's Catastor. Only 1 Doom Dragon. Really underrated card as well. I really like him. He works with barrier. He has synergy with the deck. He gets rid of fossil dinos that are face down, Mars Moss, Spirit Reapers, all that. In fact, he saved me twice this regionals. Guy had 2 set dinos, and I blew 1 up. Next time he set another one, I blew it up again, and then I gained him. It was a rabbit player, actually.
Have you ever tried to use him at 3 or 2?
I've had it at 2 for a long time, but with the lava chain build, it gets really cramped for room in this. It gets I'll be throwing instant fusions in the main deck because it's a spell so I can pitch with Monk, and it just opens almost always instant lava chain to top an Archfiend or get instant setup with them. So, and even with the instant fusion, I got fit 2 fusions in here. So 1's really good. It sucks horribly if he gets warning him because then he can't reborn him or anything like that. But he's perfectly rebornable by Necromancer. Really good card. Best at 1, you can run 2 if you have the space. 1 void. I see a lot of people running 2 and 3s with him as well. I don't really get it because he's a really good card like a Shien. It's really strong. Like 3,000 defense, that's highly unnecessary. But he's completely 100% susceptible to any monster effects. Snowman Eater, Raikou, any of that. Well, Bear pops him. He's a really good card, but 1 elf is just I think is the best. 200 eyes. A lot of people run 3, but he's just there for loop with Mirage. Really good card. You know, it wouldn't really be an Infernity deck without him because he's probably my MVP of the day. He saved me in a lot of duels by just getting the extra barrier by bashing the Necro from my grave. I've been using his newfound effect to grab the Archfiend and grab the barrier and just sit on 3,018. And no one had outs to it. And he also works really well with Mirage, if you guys didn't know the loop. 1 Scrap Dragon, because you run Call of the Haunted and you'll be synchronizing with your monsters, you'll be exceeding with them. Those Call of the Haunted will be dead, so you can use his effect, blow up the dead Call of the Haunted, or you can even use it on the one break, Infernity break, and chain it. You know, same with Compulsory, just combos with this card. Unfortunately, he will be one of the cards getting cut for my instant fusions, but he's a really good card. 1 Stardust, he's there for like Fire Kings and all that, but he's also mainly there for the road, just like the extra 25 negation. 1 Mistworm, really good card. He got me out of a Safe Zone BLS once, I'll never forget that play. Really good. I wish Trish was back, I really do. But, you know, just really good. You don't go into him a lot, but he is really good, I recommend him. 1 Levy because bottomless and all those shenanigans that they'll try to get your Archings out and just combos with Mirage. 1 Zenmains because when you open like 2 Necros and you just sell 2,000 walls, you know, he's just a good option, but he's going to be the other one getting cut with Scrap Dragon for instant fusion. Really good card. Maze Stroke, you know, it's Maze Stroke, just book shit. Abyss Dweller saved me in a duel today. One of his Mono Mermaids, I 2-0'd him, and he's just a really good card. And then 1 Gaga Cowboy, because he gets over stuff that I wouldn't necessarily be able to get over. But in my final run, when April 19th comes, he's still being cut for 2 Evolved Chains, because this card's way too good in the deck. And I can do the sideboard extremely quickly, like really quickly. 2 Snowman Eater for more Rabbit hate, and he's a 3-star to exceed from Leviair. I actually made that play today against the Rabbit player again, and I won. 2 Raikous for shit like Shadow Mirror and like War Decree and all that, just other problems to get rid of. 2 Soul Drains, get rid of those Raikous, get rid of those Dalkas, Force Negation Logia.
Do you think the 1,000 life point gain is too much?
Not at all, because if you use this card and you get them down the ropes, like with barriers and shit, you can keep poking for like 18 or whatever you got, and it'll have actually a pretty hard time getting past this. Another tech choice is Fairy Wind. Really good at 1. It destroys all face-up spell and traps, so like Skill Drain, Shadow Mirror, Macro, Dimensional Fissure, and this is really good against Fire Fists. It doesn't really stop War Decree unless chain to it, but it's still just a really great one-of. Because like it inflicts 300 damage for each card destroyed, like each of the face-up spell and traps. It hurts Launcher, but that's why you don't use it when Launcher's face up on the field. 2 Dusts. I top this card a lot and lost because of it, but it is there for when people are going to be siding heavily against this deck, because this deck is so vulnerable to side deck. You got Maxi, Effect Failure, all that stuff. Really good card. 2 is really good. No more than 2 shots. 2 Crevice. This is really just filler. I had this in for Dark Worlds, and like if they got the Graphas, I had this in for Fire King, if they got the Garunix. It was really just like a filler card. It never really helped me too much, except for in an Insector one. But, you know, you could switch this out, but it's just filler right now. 2 goes in because lineups are still around a bit. Rabbits, you know, any deck that's going to use multiple attribute, just really good against. Every single attribute I run in my main deck is dark, and most of the sinkers will be going into our dark. So it's really good. 2 Soul Drain for Mermails. This didn't help me at all, unfortunately. The Abyss Dweller did all the work. That doesn't mean I wouldn't take it on my side. So, it's really good. And I went X3 today, and I beat Rabbit, I beat Mono Mermail, I beat Insector, and what else did I beat? I can't remember what else I beat, but I lost against Fire Fists because I just drew so bad. As I said, the problem with consistency is why I lost that one. But that's pretty much what I got. Let's go back to
Would you change anything in your next tournament though?
My next tournament? Well, depending on when the next tournament is, like April 19th, if it's past then definitely I'll be running the Lava Chain build. But as for this build, it did pretty well. Like there wasn't really any time I got outplayed by anybody. It was really just because I drew like bad hands. I know that makes you sound really cocky, but that's pretty much what happened. So I just drew like pretty bad hands. But I think this build is extremely solid, and I might make very, very, very minor modifications. But I've tested this deck for like over a year, and it seems like I went through all the stages, like the Infernos, the Double Adventures, and all that, and it just seems like I came across a build that works really well.
So anything else you want to say about Infernities before we end the video?
I think that they might make top 10 deck next format up with Mermails, spellbooks and all that, just because of the sole purpose of top decking the chain. Just put an Archie on top of your deck, you can send one to your grave, just so much combos with this. So many. They're running Instant Fusion open so much before they can do anything. So, I think these guys are going to be really big next, or even this format actually, just because of this guy, just because of him. How easy it is to make in this deck.
So you're going to be back in Calgary for anything?
Yeah, I'll probably be in here for next regionals, and I'm going to be trying to make it YCS. Hopefully I do better than X3 and make top 16, but I made top 32 for my first regionals, so that's not too bad actually.
Well, YouTube, this is Riley, and this is the end of our video. Have a nice night.